Hi again. We're going to look at the angles inside of a equilateral triangle. So we see it's equilateral by the tick on each side, indicating that they're the same length. So again, we're going to measure the angle. So starting with angle A, I'll click on BAC. We see that's 60. We see the next one 60, and the last one we got to check is ABC. And we should see they're all the same. So it's like an isosceles. These two had to be the same, but these two had to be the same, as well as B and C have to be the same. So if all the angles are the same, and it adds to 180, we know that they'd have to all be 60. So this should kind of make sense to us. Okay, moving on to number 7. So now we're going to investigate the angles inside. Actually, I have this one, I believe I have a little tutorial on this later on in the Unit 6. But we're going to look at angle A and angle C compared to the exterior angle here, ABD. Okay, so let's go ahead and measure these. So starting with angle C, click on ACB. Again, just you have to make sure that the angle C is the one in the middle. So again, measure the angle. And again, we'll measure angle A. That one wasn't working because the angle was still selected. So let's try that again. Measure the angle. And again, select at the top, just deselect. And the angle outside, now we're going to measure ABD and measure angle. Now, you don't maybe see it right away, but if maybe I'll put this angle just above and this one just below. So roughly 62 and 52 would give us our 114. Now again, we might question if that's always true. So actually, let's just see what happens when we add these together. So we'll number, calculate, click the first angle plus the second angle, hit OK. So we see it's 114.96, which is the same as the exterior angle. So again, we can maybe move one of these, whichever one you want. So notice all the angles are changing. However, the sum of the two angles is still the same as this exterior angle. Okay, so that's kind of a neat property. A lot of people don't bother using it. What they do is, let's say you wanted to find this angle here, is they know this one's roughly 64, this one's roughly 54. They end up finding out the interior angle here, and then going 180 minus that angle to find this exterior angle. So a lot of people kind of ignore this one, but really nice whenever you have these two and you're looking for the exterior angle, just to simply add them. So it's a little bit of a shortcut for you. Okay, next one. So parallel lines, there's a lot of different, you might remember C pattern, F pattern, Z patterns. Okay, so this one we're looking at F patterns. Okay, so let me just measure a couple angles here and we'll see what's taking place. So measure this one here. And I'm looking at that, I'm thinking it's a little, right around 100 degrees maybe. 113.9. That's this angle here, just on the bottom. Let's measure this one again on the bottom. Q, sorry. And again, it's the same angle. Okay, so that's our F pattern. I don't know if I can, nice, I can draw an F over here, but so in an F pattern, the angle underneath the one part of the F is equal to the angle underneath the other part. Now this thing can rotate around, okay, or flip backwards. So let's see if W, like where the W is and the X is, see if those are the same. So we'd have another F pattern here. Again, I can try to draw it out for us. So again, we could have like a upside down, even backwards. Oops, didn't like that I stopped there. But again, we could have this backwards, upside down F. So let's go ahead and measure the angles one more time. So we have AWX, or you could click on the P as well, that'd be the same angle, because it's the angle at W. And measure, and the other one we want to see is the CXP1. So again, in both those cases, 113.9. Now again, you probably can see why, just from, remember the opposite angle theorem as well, so we knew that these two would have also been equal as well. Okay, but then again, this is showing my F pattern. Similarly, this angle here would equal this angle down here. Okay, so you have a bunch of F patterns that we could look at. Okay, next one. This one's our alternate angles, or Z pattern. Z pattern, I think it's just easy to remember. You see the Z here, and there's kind of like a Z here. We might think of one of them as an S and the other one as a Z, but let's go ahead and measure this angle and see if they're actually equal or if it's something else. So CXW, measure the angle, I get 76 degrees. And the other one we want to measure is at W. And again, it's 76 degrees. And you notice if I drag B, oh, I can't drag B because that's going to make it not parallel anymore. But dragging Q, oh, it's not letting me move that one either. Maybe X I can move. There we go. So the angles still remain the same. Okay, and again, this should hold true for this one and this one over on where the W is. Okay, because if this is 70, this angle here would be 110 because of our straight line. And again, if this one's 70 right here, this one again is also going to be 110. So you can kind of see why it worked the other way as well. Okay, last one. This one is our C pattern. Not as popular. It just doesn't give you the answer right away, but let's go ahead and see what actually happens. So measure the angle at X here, DXW. And we get an angle of 104. So we're looking at the C. So the C, again, maybe I should draw it out for us first of all. So what happens with those two angles? Are they the same? So let's go ahead and see what happens. So we get 75.7. So they're not the same, but is there a relationship between the two? Okay, and you might remember that we had the Z pattern, so this would be 75.7 up here. So what's true about 75.7 and 104.3? Remember that was a straight line, so that should be 180. So these two should also add to 180 as well. And again, if you want to double check that, let's go on our number, calculate, select one of the angles, plus the second angle, and click OK. And we do see that it adds to 180. It'd almost be nice if they wrote what the angle measures in there. We could actually do that. We could actually, I wonder if I just hit number, calculate. Now if I just put this in only, I wonder what would happen. Yeah, I was just hoping it was going to show 104.3. But we could still go plus and to kind of show it. Okay. So again, if I drag P here, or maybe even my X point, you notice that these angles are changing. However, the sum of those two angles is still always 180. So in this one here, you don't get, like the F pattern, we had a whole bunch of them, upside down, backwards, and so forth. But this one here, we only have two C patterns. You got the one we just looked at, or the one on this side here. Okay, but again, it would add to 180. Okay, so that's it. So hopefully that helps. And there'll be a few others along the way in here, because I realize some of you don't have Geometry Sketchpad at home, or a lot of them are asking you to construct the figures, so that might be a little bit tougher. Okay, so I'll create a couple of videos on that.